folks. This is Stephanie Meehan on CNN with a new story just in. According to recent research, the age group that accumulates the most stress are college students. I have Keara with me today to give you some stress-relieving strategies. Good afternoon, Keara. What do you have for us today?
Well, the first strategy I have for you is preparing for tests. So the first step I say is choosing/organizing content material for the test, which includes starting at least 5 to 7 days before a test and making a list of what needs to be done and making a schedule for when to accomplish what needs to be done. The second tip for that is selecting the most important items to study. So that would be looking at previous tests, maybe looking at other quizzes, trying to figure out what questions. My next tip to help you prepare for tests is figuring out how to study all of the information you have gathered. So the best way to start that is organizing and making a list of what needs to be done. And like I said previously, make a schedule and stick to it. Reward yourself afterwards.
What else do you have for us today?
Well, the next tips I have for you are reading strategies, because I know a lot of people do not like to read and they're not very good at it, or so they think. So the first thing I have to say is plan and prepare. Gather all assigned material, set aside time to read, and choose how long and how much you're going to read in a certain amount of time. My next item is to read strategically. Use the pacer technique, which the horizontal pacing technique is placing something underneath the line you are reading. Or use the vertical pacer technique, which is uncovering lines depending on if you have a problem with skipping lines. My last part for reading methods is review and reflect. Review as soon as possible what you read, even the day after you read would be superb. Create and review cards.
What else do you have for us today?
Well, a lot of students have test anxiety with how hard college tests have to be, especially at Creighton. So before the test, it's very important that you go to review sessions, you study, you read, you do whatever helps with friends. Get enough sleep, exercise, and nutrition. On the day of the test, you need to go to class on time with all the required materials, and then try to set time goals for when you're going to have this part of the test done and minimize your distractions. And during the test, use careful and deliberate use of your time, and then if you can't focus on a question, ask yourself, what is this question asking me?
Great information. Do you have anything for us on how to make effective choices?
Yes, I do. Well, first off, you need to have a good balance between your social life and all the time you spend on homework. So ways that you can kind of balance that yourself is ignoring your feelings and letting your rational mind determine your actions, or simply thinking about your feelings. You can also determine how important or necessary something is to get done versus going out with friends, or for making complicated decisions, get various insight from several of your friends and then correlate it with your own feelings.
Great! Do you have any final information to help our viewers be successful in college?
Yes, I do. In fact, I have one of the most important things that I think. How to find sources of motivation, because many times throughout the semester I hear students saying, I don't have any motivation. So first you need to think about your values, why do you want to accomplish this task? That can be you have incentives, you have expectations for yourself, you have expectations for others. You need to think about your needs, what drives you to complete something, creativity, self-worth, just the feeling you get after achieving something, and expectations, asking yourself, can you accomplish this? Thinking of previous experience, success of others, and various feedback from other people.
Great information. Thanks so much for your time, Keara.
Thank you for having me.